Now let's look at roof vents. The most important requirement for roof vents is to install them so they won't leak. They should also be installed so they are evenly spaced and in a straight line when viewed from the ground. If there are existing roof vents and you are adding more, install the new ones to match the line of the existing vents. Use the shingle rows as a guide for locating and cutting vent holes. Start the top of the hole 2 shingle rows down from the ridge. Here the installer uses a reciprocating saw. He uses the edge of the shingles as a guide to cut a straight line. He avoids rafters by changing his cutting direction when he feels a rafter hit the saw blade. He also uses the shingles to gauge the size of the hole. Notice how he stops the cut for this vent just above the bottom of the 3rd row of shingles. Remove nails from above the hole and from each side of the hole so the vent can slide in place. Orient the roof vent so the closed side faces the peak of the roof. Slide the roof vent up as far as possible under the shingles. Make sure all the shingles overlap each other and the vent. The bottom edge of the vent overlaps the row of shingles at the bottom of the hole. Nail the vent to the roof. Proper operation of the blowing machine is just as important as knowing how many bags of insulation to install. The blowing machine operator should know how to adjust 2 important controls on the machine: the material control and the air flow control. The controls on your machine may not work just like these. Before you operate the machine, get your supervisor to show you the proper control procedures. If these controls are not set correctly, your insulation job may not be satisfactory. Here the hose operator is blowing fiberglass. Notice how the insulation floats out of the hose. This is a sign of too much air. Because there is too much air in the insulation, it won't take long for the insulation in the attic to settle below the required depth. Too much air results in too little insulation. The blowing machine operator adjusts for less air and increases the amount of material. After adjustment, notice how the fiberglass comes out of the hose in a heavier flow that is easy to control. Here the installer is blowing cellulose. The insulation is heavy and doesn't fly very far out of the hose. This problem is solved by adjusting for more air. You can see the difference at the hose. Insulating exterior walls is an important part of a total home weatherization job. For many homes, heat loss through walls is a major cause of high heating bills and uncomfortable rooms. Existing exterior walls can be blown with insulation from the exterior or interior of the house. This video will show procedures for blowing insulation from the exterior. You will learn how to conduct a pre-insulation check of the house, how to locate and drill access holes when dealing with different types of siding, probe walls for obstructions, blow insulation to ensure proper density and a complete fill, plug and finish holes, and communicate to the homeowner about the work you've done. Duct mastic is another way to seal ducts. Mastic is faster to apply than tape. Here the installer spreads mastic over the connection with his hand. For large gaps, like those often found at junction connections, use mesh reinforcing tape with the mastic. Slice the tape like this so it will fit neatly around the duct. Spread on a thin layer of mastic. Then apply the mastic so it completely covers the tape.